that we're definitely dealing with. But also, you're correct. It is a mind trick with the money, even with that, with the digital money, because you have to, in order to get digital currency, if you're not creating it yourself, you have to give up the fiat to buy it from someplace. Where is that money going? Is so that's the whole thing. But yeah, absolutely, we have to use the tools that we have, whatever it is that they got, in order for us to position ourselves so that we can start regaining what you call the real currency, or they call it God's money, which is the gold, which is the silver, which has more value than this digital stuff and fiat.
Right. All right. And I see Brother Tarki, he got his hand raised. You got a question or a comment, brother?
Falls on what Sister Moody was speaking on, falls, but when I said I don't care about the money don't exist. We all know that. Tell you in the Constitution that gold and silver is the only real currency. We build off a frequency that can't build off a frequency within us, because we intelligent beings. This is temporary, falls with the flesh, but falls, but wherever state that she domicile in, soon. Down in South Carolina, it's $7,500 for a small claim. That's easy. They stop your car, boom, hit them. Do it again, hit them till they stop. Are you gonna keep going? Now you got the means. Down here, you can make 15,000 easy. That's an investment to where you can go buy land, to where you can start playing on the Monopoly board, because this is all a game. This is the matrix. When I walk out there in today's society, I see people walking in the blind. I see a lot of homeless people down in Columbia, in the capital, every day. Brother asked me, what's this on my head? I told him, go to the library and go read a book, my brother. I wasn't rude to him. Go read a book. You'll find out. And he was he was of age. You feel what I'm saying? You should know better.
All of those are spiritual beings. They've been pushed out onto the street because of their connection and their enlightenment, and they want to put them on drugs, hallucinogenics, and all these different things. When I was out there posting at the courthouse and I sealed the doors of the courthouse, one was laying on the bench right there, and he was asking me, because I put my protection and all my stuff down into the ground. I moved by the spirit, so the ancestors told me it was time, go put the spiritual protection down there and seal the building up. I have to step out first. So I was putting the stuff in the ground, the spiritual protection in the ground, digging my hole and stuff. And he raised up off the bench. He was watching me the whole time. When I finished digging the hole and went to walk over to the door to seal the building, he was like, "Are you a witch?" I said, "I am a shaman and a spiritual being." He was like, "Yeah, we all spiritual beings. All this is ours." He started talking. But if nobody ever talked to them, you wouldn't know where they coming from. And this is the thing with our society. What's been happening? We've been suppressed. We are connected. We connected to all the answers, all the cosmos. The Anunnaki are our creators. Those of you who have A blood type, you are made in the image and the likeness of the Most High creators. I know for it to be true that the Anunnaki, we and them are one and the same. And they still come here, but they used to come here more frequently than they do now, because it's not really time yet for them to, be seen the way they used to be, coming and going. They are being seen, and the ones who's talking about it, they killing them because they don't want people to notice. Just like the rapper, forget his name. I'm seeing spaceships on Bankhead, spaceships on Bankhead, spaceships on Bankhead. Rest in peace. I forget his name.
Fabo.
He was seeing the spaceships.
D4L, I think that is.
Okay.
No, it's not Fabo.
Okay. See, they don't want, and especially if you got a voice to reach the people, They don't want you to be able to wake that up. And this is the time we're in right now. So everything is in alignment for us. It's the last time these planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Pluto were in this same conjunct and alignment was about 800 years ago, when my ancestors, and some of y'all was ruling on the land. It was 800 years ago that happened. We back in that same conjunction. So this is why they scared. They're very afraid. And that's why they want to make up something to get their game plan together. Stay in the house, don't go outside, and don't connect with because that's the energy source. Don't be in crowds. Remember at one time they were saying you can't be in your house in a crowd with your own family. They don't want that. I look into the sun every day. One of the spirit doctors of Africa taught me that. He gave me some herbs, put here, and look into the sun every day. Before you talk to anybody, that's where you meditate. You meditate looking up into the sun. And I still do it. And I've been getting major downloads, and I know for a fact, I know for truth, because fact is not always true. I know it to be true that is the direct connection to the cosmos. That is your answers. That's like, instant energy. The sun is energy. Sun god Ra. That's God speed. You get into the rays of the sun and you sit there and you have to be still. They've been teaching these youth lately in school. They taught my children, they just graduated. I have a 21 and a 22-year-old. When they was in high school, these teachers was telling them, when they do their homework, play music. So they listening to all this crazy music while they trying to do their homework. See, they know this next generation are the ones that's going to really carry it forth. That's in their teens right now, their 20s. They trying to separate you from hearing that voice. And those that do hear that voice, they putting them on drugs. So in this last year, I've been able to connect, and I'm hearing the voices. I'm hearing the ancestors. My ancestors tell me everything what to do. Bring answers through other people. The Anunnaki is not our enemy. They are connected to us. They are our blood. My kin. I'm gonna speak for myself. I already checked. I already did divination. That is my lineage. Those are the ones who govern planet Serpentanius. The gold reserves that they can't touch. This is what happened in 1913. This is I'm gonna try not to get too deep because it could go on and on and on. But anyway, my family lineage had the gold reserves. All the gold reserves right now in the world, they still there. But the way they set it up, they put that spiritual protection on it. So these pale faces, the wicked pale faces, I should say, the Scottish Rite, Knights Templar, J.P. Morgan and his crew, they couldn't touch it. And then when they did, they was dying. J.P. Morgan died in 1913. And the ancestors brought the knowledge to me, and I got divination from my Babalawo, and I divinated. The empire went into interregnum in 1913. So what they was trying to do, they used my family members in London, England, and I'm just finding all of this out in the last year. London, England, and also Vatican, Rome. These people darker than me, still running things in the background. Who knew? But they was wicked. They allowed all this stuff to happen to their own people and their own kind. just so they could sit on the money and the power. But see, that's why it wasn't meant for them. They was not the lawful heirs to come to the throne. So they was doing everything in secret, putting all these pale faces up there, made the agreement with the Scots, the Knights Templar. That's why you got all these pale faces and took over the Vatican and all these power places in the world, because they was the army to come against their own family. So that's all a family thing that took place. Those wicked ones in my family's lineage are the ones that destroyed the empire and made pacts with the devil, this pale face that the Anunnaki created to be slaves for us, and put them in the mountains. They only been here 600 years. And they only been, and all of these dates that they putting into history are false. They had to create a whole, if you study archives, and I encourage all of y'all to do so you will know where I'm at when I'm saying this. A lot of those things that happen actually happened, but they didn't happen during that time period in which this Christian crusader put it into the history books. The timelines is all screwed up. They injected at least 500 years into the history books that never even existed. They had to do that in order to create a history for themselves. They came out the mountains. Scottish mountains, Caucasus mountains, Scandinavian mountains. All of them were created and put there and was living in the mountains 500 some odd years, 470 some odd years before one of the royals in my family lineage let them out. They was forbidden to come out. But all of that was able to happen because of Saturn. The alignment in this, it couldn't happen no other time. It can't happen no more like that, because as above, so below. Is no powers in the cosmos that will allow that. So that story gets a little bit deeper also. The one that was supposed to go and govern this planet that I'm telling you about. See, we connected. This is what they teach in the Ivy League schools and all of this, and in the Jesuit schools. They know, and they pray to our mother. They pray to our goddess Diana. Goddess Diana is the mother, our family, my family line, right? That the Holy See prays to, and they teach all these Jesuits, because that's what was known in my family line. The 13 families of the Bible, that was teachings and instructions for them. That wasn't for the world to see. So they took all of this knowledge and they started using it against us, and then took the real stuff, the real jewels that give you your power. They took it out the Bible, put it in Freemason books, and gave it to those secret society individuals that wanted to control the world and control us. But the Anunnaki, that's a blood type. That's who the Anunnaki is. And they are the ones who, and that's the whole family line who ruled all the way from the pharaohs to the kings and the queens that they talk about, and empresses that they talk about throughout history and in the Bible and in the Quran. That's one family line that was given that permission. It's like we don't own the land, but we are the custodians of the land. So when I got my prophecy, it talks about, I have to be strong and courageous, for I will be the one to bring the land back to those people of the land in which the Most High promised Moses she would give. So, you know, now that I know who I actually am, now I know why I got that particular prophecy, because that's in my family line. Moses is my great 3-time great, but there was 3 of them. The one that they're talking about in that passage is the second, Emperor Moses Maximus the second. So that's all Anunnaki bloodline. And they told me where to go and get the gold. And they told me it's not to be spent. That gold is up under the World Trade Center right now. That's why they did what they did in 9/11, to cover it up. Because I had a friend who had my information in my paperwork. Now I'm still green and naive at this time, 33 years old, when I put some information together and basically took all of that corporate entity out of there and put a dollar amount and brought the family of the Moors back on top. So she was using my paperwork as leverage. And you know, the ancestors work through people. She told me then, she said, listen, they are using your bond. They don't have no more assets. That's why they did that event at the World Trade Center. And she knew the gold was up under all of these things is coming back to me years later. Like, wow, this is why I have to stay in meditation so that I can get answers and I can piece all this back together, because it's like a movie. It's going to be a movie, seriously. But she told me at least 10 years ago, she said, and I guess she was getting dreams, but they consider her an oracle too, because she used to work for Department of Defense. And me and her got connected when I moved to Charlotte. She was still in Detroit. So some people referred her to me, and she was like, no, she was like, they don't let people come to me unless, you know, it's something, you know, it's something about you. And so she was protecting me and stuff like that. These people was out to get me. Airplanes and helicopters and stuff started flying, but I didn't realize the danger I was in. I mean, I just knew that I needed to bring forth that information, so that's what I did, always walking in the spirit. But all I'm gonna say is this, to sum it all up: don't believe the hype. Everything that you see with your own eye, only believe half of what you hear and none of what you see. That's how serious it is in this time. Because we've been plagued with fear. This is Saturn. This is those that were born in that Saturn era. This is what they're about. Illusion. They're the artists of deception. They can make things look as though they were when they're really not. I have the power to see through all of that. That's one of my gifts. I always been, nobody can bullshit me. I can see it. Like, you can't do that with me. That's the time I was born in, and that's the job I have on this planet. So once you realize your qualities and your reason and your purpose for being on this planet, you don't let nobody sway you from that. If I let people and these entities coming after me sway me from this, we will be doomed. A lot of stuff the ancestors bring through me, I'll just do it. Now that I have the power to write royal decrees, a lot of stuff is being done around the world quicker than it may be seen here. That's just the way it always is. You know, they picking up, running with Empress faster than they are here, because that's just the way it is. I don't know why, but I'm happy and that I'm finally doing my job and it's finally being felt, and I can help the masses of the people, because in learning who I am and who I've always been, is the knowledge of my family that put players, world players, to the forefront, like the so-called Queen of England and the fake royals of the Windsor House. They are not royals at all. They have just been put there for a prop. And just like all their family members in Germany, where's the other one? Netherlands, here's that other one. Denmark. All of them fake. All of them fake. They are not real royal family. Okay, this is all an illusion. So these people, the Queen of England was put there by my family in London, England, and they were still controlling everything from the background. So that being said, once I came to the forefront and deemed the land no longer abandoned and came forward as an heir, that's the empire that went into interregnum in 1913. That empire encompassed 3 thrones, 3 crowns, and 3 empires. That's what Goddess Diana of the Holy Roman Empire called it. She's the one who created all of the Holy Roman. She's the one that created civilization. So you'll see her in some of the pictures with all of these breasts on her. She's the mother that fed all nations. So this is who they taught these Jesuits and people in power to pray to. So all she been doing, and I got a prophecy with her name in it. I had no idea who she was. I got a prophecy in Bishop Wayne T. Jackson's church when almost 20 years ago. But I didn't know until almost 20 years later, who the Diana, who they said would bring so much power and I need to follow her lead and so on and so forth. And, so she is the one that created the Pentagon, the Vatican, Holy Roman Empire, dark as night. Dark as night. So that's the picture that they pray to. Her, and they call her the mother of God, the mother of God, but she's goddess. So they twisted a lot of stuff around and gave it to the people to throw us off. But all of these things have come back to the forefront, and only an heir, this is how serious it is. Only an heir of them can pull this stuff back out into the ether, out of the ether and into breath and life by the Akashic record. This is now I know why they have been following me by the hundreds for 5 years straight. This is how serious it is. Because only an heir of them can regurgitate this stuff. So Goddess Diana, under the Holy Roman Empire, so the empires followed the family line. She had 3 empires that she was responsible for: Holy Roman Empire, Aztec Empire, and Japan Empire. My great-great-grandmother, when she came into her own as an empress, so Moses was her father, who married an Americanus, which they in the same family line. This is all Tahuti family line. And those are the ones who are the custodians of the land. They responsible for the land. They responsible for collecting taxes to keep everything running. They are the ones who own the gold reserves. So the 3 empires, Holy Roman Empire, Japan Empire, and Aztec Empire, now was up under one empire, which was the Americanus Empire. So that's why they took all of that and made it look like the royal family and the Queen of England is an owner of all these lands. When they were sending Scots, but this was in my own family line that made the agreement for the Scots, these cave dwellers, to come out of the cave and turn them into Knights Templar, and Scottish Rites Christian Crusaders for the Catholic Church. Hid the old Pope and brought forth a new Pope and letting him run everything. So that's why you got, even in America, 2 forms of government, and that's everywhere. So they came onto the land and started this corporate fiction to run alongside the de jure that's already there. Never went nowhere, because you got the real royal family in the background running shit. Don't nobody know about them, but the people in the front that everybody's seeing is these pale faces, the Scots, the Scottish Rites, Knights Templar, and all of them. They in the front running their government, but they made a pact not to never, cross each other. But this background power got the last say so. They couldn't do nothing without them. So you got 2 forms of government running at the same time. They the one, that's why it's so much going on with these police and all this corporate stuff. The police are corporate. They work for them. They are the mercenaries for these people I'm talking about. You got some, yeah, they let on like, they all there for justice. They all there to keep the peace, blah, blah, blah. But the majority of them, I'm say 3/4 of them, they there to do the work of this enemy that's on the land. Don't nobody know this. This is what I had to figure out, because the challenges I had, they kept coming for me and I kept seeing what they was doing. They are their foot soldiers on the ground. They're the mercenaries for these people. They work in the fire department, paramedics, EMTs, and the police. Any jobs that's on the ground, that was them. So I've been working to clear them out of here, starting right here where I'm at. So the empires that were laying dormant until now, they were being governed by this fake rulership of England, the Queen of England and all of this stuff. They are the ones who assumed the roles of all the royals when the empire went into interregnum. And so the empire was running from here, that same empire, because it's the same family line. Moses came here, married an Americanus, and we named after the land. The family lineage is named after the land, American, Amuricka. And to say it plural is NUS, Americanus. So he came here, married, into the Americanus family line, who was already owning the Americas, Canada, and South America, all in Central America, all the Americas. So that family line, Moses is the son of grandson. He's the third. He was the second, or he the third. He was Emperor Moses Maximus the third. Okay. So anyway, he brings the empire here to America to rule with his wife, who was already ruling the lands. They are the custodians of the land that rule from the empirical side. They are the ones who they're the ones who ran governments. These governments and stuff was already here when these pale faces got here. That's why they was overturning them and overthrowing them and killing, off the people, because the governments was already here. So these Asiatics are the ones who was running governments and running high society and things like that. all the way around the world, America, London, you know, Rome, Japan, everywhere. That's the same family line, even though they may be under different names and, you know, things like that, but it's the same family line. So that being said, in 1913, the empire, my great-great-grandmother, Empress America Maximus, came into power in when she was 15. So 1890, late 1890s. She was 15 when she came into power. That's a trait in that family line. They're groomed to start ruling at the age of 15. That's like a job. That's like a family. So families were rulers, just like the Collins family. Noble General Thunderstorm is from the Collins family line. These are one of the 13 families of nobility who have always been together throughout time. They were the army for the empire. They were the imperial guards for the empire, foot soldiers for the empire. So when Moses left Rome, they followed him here to America, the Colonna family. Now it's known as the Collins family. It's the same thing. Columbus. They are the Knights of Columbus. All of these knights were knighted by the empire, except for Knights Templar, who stole my uncle King David Solomon Tahuti's knowledge and scrolls and what they call the Holy Grail and all the Torah and all of these different things. They are the ones who were, and that's why they call their Scottish Rite free and accepted, because they know they're not supposed to be there. Nobody accepted you. They put themselves in that position from one of the family members that agreed with the devil for them to do their bidding. So all of this, the only way they was able to ever do anything adverse to us is because of somebody who had the power to give them that permission. And that came from the real royal family line. So the Holy Roman Empire, Japan Empire, and the Aztec Empire is in 1913 is now rolled up into one empire, Americanus Empire. That's where all the 50 countries and islands and all of this stuff comes from that the queen was naming. So now that we're back out of interregnum, I'm responsible for that. I have to seriously get boots on the ground, resurrect governments, resurrect the empire. This is like serious business. And, you know, so it's nobody that can stop us, because the ancestors, this is how I know I'm doing my job. This is how I know I'm fit for this job, because I'm still here, for one. If you all knew what I had to go through on a daily basis, the average person could not survive it. You talking about sorcery wars. I'm going to write books about this stuff. I can't believe what goes on. Right now is White Car Row, Shamu, because of the tribe. I asked the tribe to help me earlier today. Now they're trying to repent, but we don't accept no more repentance. All of this is spiritual warfare. I want y'all to know that. You have to know how to protect yourself in the spiritual world before you step out into the physical world. And the ancestors and the spirit guides, they had to slow me down to show me this and to be able to hear them, because that's where your real power is. Before you, and then when I got initiated as a high priestess in Ifa, that they also told me, you can't go out into any battles without Ifa, meaning without Ifa and without the spirit and your ancestors. It don't work that way. Y'all have to learn how to wield your power before you step out into the physical realm. That's where your power is. So now that we have, it's nothing they can do. You know, it's like I'm making my business to be ahead of them, to be on top of them. Is no, once you ask them one time, that's it. Get your relationship going with them, build an altar for them, commune with the spirit realm. Anything you ask them to do, they will do. And that's what they taught me that in E5. Anything I ask E5 for, pull out my pot, give my prayers, feed my E5. Anything I ask E5 to do, E5 has done for me. Anything you ask them to do, they will do. It's the same thing with your ancestors. So this is now what we have to do, family. You know, it's serious business, and just know that it's nobody against us. So try not to speak that. You know, it's nobody who can stop us. It's not even in alignment for that. It's not going to happen. They can't. I don't care what they thought they was going to do. I was the sleeper cell, and this is probably why, you know, the ancestors don't give it to me right away, and that's the Uranus in me. Things change just like this. I never know what I'm gonna do from day to day. It's like, so go do this. Okay, I thought I was going. No, go do this. That's the way it is right now. So don't believe the hype. Whatever they saying on the news and on the media, they still trying to get their last bids in. They on their last leg. So the only thing they got left is to create illusions. Try to make us think something is one way when it's really not. They've been doing that, but they really doing it now. So they'll put out these fake news posts and things like that to make, you know, to make it look like they still have power. But every day, the ancestors, me and my tribe, we take them out. The ancestors, this is what they call for. You can't have, it's like, you can't have change. And this is what I'm learning as a leader, like becoming a world leader. They're showing me that, you know, and I had to get comfortable with this. This is what probably took me so long as a mother and a nurturer. I'm a Cancer. So it's very hard for me to be adverse. I'm just laid back. I'm not, you know, you don't bother me, I'm not gonna bother you. But if you come over here, I'm gonna, them pinchers is gonna get you. That's how I am. But now that I've been groomed by the ancestors to do this job, I understand that you can't have rebirth without death. Something has to die in order for you to bring forth anew. That's the whole process of death and rebirth. That's Pluto, that's Uranus. This is the time we are in. So the ancestors have to clear our path in order for us to bring forth anew. And that's what we're going through right now. It's just a cleansing process that we're going through, but nothing and no one can stop us. Even if they had plans to do this, and this, no plans, nothing can prosper. It's already been done. So that's my job, you know, as Empress and a High Priest. So if anybody step out to say they're Empress, this is hard work. Just like anybody ruling, you know, it may not look like to others I'm ruling. And all of this is because it has to be molded. All of these things has to take place and has to happen. Things have to transpire first. There's no need for nobody to know that I'm having this power and I don't have 100 mil, at least 100,000 feet on the ground. You see what I'm saying? But the ancestors showed me how to protect myself. I got them on the ground. They just not in the physical. I dig that hole and I put them invocations in the ground. This is how you have to protect yourself. Anybody that's coming with us on this journey, y'all have to know these things, because this is what our ancestors did. This is how they was able to maintain peace and order on the land. All of this is encompassed in moving forward. See, men, y'all are action. You are the sun. You are the sun. That's action. So that's what you train to do, but you have to wait for the mother to give you the answers. And that's what you don't have to wait, but this is the order of things. This is just the pecking order of the cosmos. And this is why men can become, get that. The ancestors brought this to me the other day about Michelle Obama. I was asking, I asked, and this is what I do all day, ask them, divinate, get answers to different things. I asked, is she really a transvestite? And they said yes. But it's easy for males to do that. They can do that surgery and cut that out because everyone is born with a vagina. This is what they told me. All of us who come here start off being a female. So you have to understand the pecking order of the cosmos if you really want to win. This is not no, gender bashing or woman movement. This is just the truth. And I was taught this by elders who were male. Now I'm really knowing it. And this is why everything is off balance, because you got these males that took over the world 120 years ago. We all messed up. But the orders came from the mother, the feminine, the goddess Diana. That's who they praying to this day, the Jesuits. The mother is the one who gets the answers and gives it to the son. And y'all carry it out in action. That's why y'all built to move. Y'all, men are built to move and action. That's the sun. So, we have to really know that all of these things it'll make our lives so much easier if you understood the cosmos. If you get to know how things are, supposed to go, we will run like an engine. You know what I'm saying? Learn astrology, astronomy. You ain't got to learn a lot. I don't know a lot of it, but I get my wisdom through the spirit. The divination is where I get most of my wisdom from. But we cannot win if you do not know your spiritual powers. And I'm only as strong as my weakest link. So just know that we winning, we on top, we moving forward. Everybody just meditate and ask your ancestors and your spirit guides to bring forth those feet on the ground. Bring forth the suitable and loyal and faithful people. That's what I do. That's why y'all here. And before I invite you to the call, I'm taking my pendulum, which doesn't leave my side, and I'm asking, is this person good? These people on here, are they good? See, everybody on here is good. Yes, 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 yes. See how fast it's going to the right? I didn't move my hand. My daughter said, you move your hand. No, I didn't move my hand. Is everybody on this call good, suitable, and loyal for the cause? Okay, yes. This is what I do all day. So y'all got to learn this power. Y'all have to, walk in the image and the likeness of the most high gods and goddesses that we came from. That's our job. We are custodians that have to maintain this earth. It's not just here in America. I yield.